Hello, good morning. Welcome to another weekly update. Welcome to another week. I hope you're doing well. It's going to be a busy week this week, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But first, let's talk about some of the things that have been happening in the past week. Again, in this kind of run up to Ignite, we're seeing little bits of information drip out and some things happening. The first thing I want to tell you about, though, isn't kind of related to any of that. It's a new initiative, and it's kind of exciting, and I think it's a great idea. So let's talk about it. Microsoft Teams app camps. So I think we've had these before. It's the first one we've had for a while that I can remember, certainly. But it's happening towards the end of October. It's actually not that far away now, is it? But yeah, in 10 days' time, in fact. And this is all about taking Microsoft Teams and taking apps and going all the way through to getting them into the App Store. So if you're a developer and you're a bit on the fence about going to Microsoft Teams development and learning what it takes to take like a regular web application and turn it into a Microsoft Teams like application, have it in the App Store, having it running inside Microsoft Teams, this is a good app camp for you because it's got a really clear end goal in mind, which is get it into the store and get monetizing it. That's an interesting thing to kind of take on. Monetization in the App Store is a relatively new thing. So this might also be of interest to existing developers, or if you maybe develop inside your company doing Teams apps, but you've got a great idea for something you want to do on the side. Actually, now you've got more, I would argue you didn't already need a reason to go and build that and put it in the App Store. But if you wanted an extra reason, the fact that you can monetize in and get it in the store and earn some extra money from it, that might be a good incentive. There's a little video here. There's a registration link. There's two hosts from Microsoft Developer Advocates will walk you through how to take an existing application, a web application, how to port it to be a full Teams application, how to incorporate single sign-on, some really nice things there going on, and how to get it, get it into the store and talk about monetization as well. So there's a link there. It starts on October the 20th. It's a great idea. You should definitely register and attend for it. So that's really good to see. I think like Bob and Ravi are doing kind of really good things to kind of push the kind of Teams development story, Teams apps and development. And I think that's really good to see. And I hope it's a well-attended app camp. It really should be. Okay, let's talk about some new things. This is kind of interesting. It shows more than anything else, I think, or at least, what am I trying to say? There's the thing I'm going to talk about, and there's the feature by itself, which by itself is quite interesting, but it is also kind of portends a bigger thing, which I think is even more interesting. So let's talk about it. Link unfurling, public preview in Outlook. What does this mean? Okay, well, Microsoft Teams has had the ability for a while now to do link unfurling. Link unfurling is where you can construct what happens to your link when people paste it into Teams. So for instance, if you're pasting a CRM link, you can specify the way that looks, what information gets built. You can build a really nice adaptive card to show, for instance, if it's a CRM link to like a particular work item or a particular account or something, you can show just the relevant information about that account. You might put a picture for the account lead, I don't know, some key metrics, whatever, so that when you paste it in, you get a really nice preview experience. Some of the same stuff is coming to Outlook now. So if you're a Teams app developer, you probably already know, because I've been talking about it for a little while, that you can take your Teams apps and you can put them into Outlook without really needing to do any work. This is another one of those cases where if you've got a Teams app in Teams and now in Outlook, the link unfurling is just going to work. You don't have to make any changes, which is really kind of nice. As a public preview, so depending on your IT setup, depending on your organization rollout, it's going to depend on what version of Outlook people are running as to whether or not they get this. So this is kind of cool. If you want to go and check it out, if you want to go and see, then there's a link to exactly how to get on the right targeted release program, how to get on the beta channel, how to opt into all of this stuff. So this is really good. The reason that I think it's super exciting is this, for me, again, is another step along that path of Teams apps becoming something that works not just in Teams. And we saw that in a big way with the apps working for message extensions, and being able to search message extensions from the ones that work in Teams, having them also work in Outlook. This is another example, and this kind of, for me, not cements, but it like makes more real this idea that Teams apps are going to spread out, and not just be Teams apps. They're going to show up in Outlook, and we've already seen that already. But now that they're showing up in Outlook, why not have them show up in Word? You know, like you got link unfurling, so why not have link unfurling work really well in Word as well? So that if you paste a link in Word in a document, I'm making this stuff up. Like I don't have any inside knowledge about this stuff, but you know, you've done the link unfurling in Outlook. Why not do it in all the other places that links exist in Microsoft 365? And so I think, you know, and I hope we will see the kind of Teams apps becoming much more apps that work not just in Teams, but in all of the other kind of apps in the Microsoft 365 suite. And I think that'd be really cool, because I think the Teams app model is a really good one and a really solid one, and I think it's been proven to work well. So this is kind of an exciting article for that, but go and have a look at the demos. There's some videos for how you can use this and how it looks when it's working. And if you're interested in doing that, go. If you're an IT admin, go, and if you want to, opt in some machines to the targeted release program. And if you're not, go and hassle your IT admin to let you do it, because it's fun. Okay. All right, let's talk about Microsoft Ignite, because that is happening this week. So it is 3 days, and it's happening Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I believe. So October the 12th, 13th and 14th. That makes sense, because today, as I'm recording this, is October the 10th. So my maths is good. And I want to tell you about a new page that came up just before the weekend as a guide to Microsoft Teams at Microsoft Ignite. So this is the Teams team telling you all of the things that you should go and watch at Microsoft Ignite. Now, if you're into development, then not all of this is going to be applicable to you, but a lot of people I know are both into development on Teams, but also Teams more generally as a platform. So this will be useful. But also, don't forget, if you are a developer, go and look at the Teams development stuff, but just don't forget that Ignite is also lots of Azure stuff, lots of Windows development, plenty of other things going on as well you might want to go and check out. But this is specifically Teams at Ignite. And this is a really nice page, because it walks you through all of the sessions you might want to review and make sure you've either got on your schedule or in your backpack. If you don't know the difference between a schedule and a backpack, I've done a YouTube video on that. I won't put it in the link for this one because we've already talked about it. If you go back a couple of weeks or just have a look on my YouTube channel, you'll see kind of me talk about the scheduler for Microsoft Ignite and all the differences. But anyway, this is a nice blog post for going through all of the things that the Teams team think you should know about. So the kickoff sessions, the high level keynotes, some deep dives, learning more, some Ask the Expert, some roundtables, some other things. And then this is a digital brochure. So back in the old days, we used to get printed out brochures when we went to conferences. Literally, you'd wear them around your neck with your lanyard. And some of the fancy ones before they went away, you had like a special lanyard holder that would kind of like poke in. And hang on a minute. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is from the 2015 MVP Global Summit. You used to get like a fancy holder that you'd wear as your lanyard thing, and in the back was a little guide, and in the guide was a little brochure of all the sessions and where they were going and the maps and some useful information. And all of that doesn't happen anymore because it makes much more sense to have it digitally, because all of that information changes last minute. If you've ever run a conference, you'll know that everything changes up until the last second, and even once things start. So actually those printed brochures were a terrible idea for that, but actually they were very useful as attendees, and I don't think we'll ever see them again. But anyway, this is a digital version of the digital brochure, which is kind of nice, a nice, interesting throwback. And we've got the same information but presented in a way that you might want to print out and keep on your desk if you're attending remotely. If you're attending in person, you might want to print out and take it with you. This is, it's just a nice kind of, you can see now, nicely laid out, all the sessions and the speakers, all the kind of key things, the technical deep dives and all the rest of it. So that is yours to keep from the Microsoft Teams team for Microsoft Ignite this year. All right, I think that's kind of all the big news. Only a couple more things to tell you about. One more thing, really. So this week is going to be busy because it is UC Expo happening on Wednesday and Thursday. This week, I'm going to try and get there for the Wednesday and just have a look and see what's going on, say hello to some people. And then on Thursday, Friday and Saturday, it's South Coast Summit. There's a lot going on at South Coast Summit. It's spread on across the Thursday, Friday and Saturday, so spread across 3 days. If you didn't know that and you want more information about South Coast Summit, especially if you're attending, I've done a YouTube video. You can go and check it out on my YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link to it in the notes for this video as well. Here you go. That's what it looks like. And in it, I cover things like the sessions, what's happening on each day, where to go and get your swag, the timings for some of the things, and some other tips and tricks from previous years at South Coast Summit. So that should be a really good conference. Excited for that one. And also it's Ignite, it's also Ignite week. So there's going to be lots and lots of news coming out this week as well from Ignite. So it's going to be a busy news-packed week, and we will talk about it all next time on the weekly update if we don't talk about it before. Until then, have a great time, have a great week. If you're attending Ignite in person in Seattle, have a fantastic time. If you're attending one of the regional breakouts around the world, have a super time. Let me know where you're from and where you're attending. It'll be fun. And if you're attending remotely from your desk, have a good one. Enjoy. Get as much as you can out of the content because there's plenty of it. And I will talk to you again next time. Have a good one.